Hi everyone, it's Bridget here from Paper Creations with another card video. This is a little shaker card that I designed. You can see it's all nice and sparkly inside. Let me just show you what you will need to make this card. So you will need 2 pieces of our red cardstock, whatever red you like. The first piece measures 5 7/8 by 8 1/4, and that becomes your card base. The second piece is 5 1/2 by 3 1/4, and that goes actually inside your card to hide the window shaker thingy inside. You will also need a piece of our window sheet for the window and a few little bits of scrap paper. So I've used some green, some craft card, scraps of white, and also some of our Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper that I had left over from last year. If you don't have this, you could probably use some sort of glitter embossing powder to make some of the elements that we're going to be making. You will also need some framelits to cut the circle. Now if you're using the old ones that have now retired, I've used the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th circle in to cut my window. You will also need to have the Merry Tags framelits, and I've used this one here, which seems to be my favourite. I have also used the Snow Friends framelits to go with the stamp set, and I've used the penguin, the hat, the scarf, and Let It Snow, the sentiment there. I have used the Cookie Cutter Christmas, the Santa from that, and also you will need the coordinating punch. And I've used Hang Your Stockings only just for that little snowflake there, which is actually the snowflake that I've used all through there. So that's that. You will need 3 of your Stampin' Write markers, and they are Real Red, Smoky Slate, and Basic Black to colour your Santa Claus. Pair of scissors, your embossing buddy. You will also need your Real Red ink and your Basic Black ink, embossing powder, and some of these foam adhesive strips to go inside the card so that we can actually put the glitter, which is here, into the card. So you'll also need glitter and glue as well. And I think that's about it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my circle out using my Big Shot. And I'm going to use my magnetic plate because I want it to be held in place fairly well. So we'll just put that in there and then kind of just eyeball it. Roughly about there. You want to leave a little bit of area at the top here free. So that looks about centered. So then just run that through. That should be sufficient. Oh, there it all goes. So then we have our circle cut out. Move that out of the road. Okay. Now I think I've said in the past that whenever I make a card I sort of use it as a prototype, and then I change things if I'm not happy with how they turned out. And one of the things I did was I actually wasn't going to go with a sentiment on the front of this, but when I did I actually put it onto a little banner and embossed it onto that, and I wasn't happy with how that turned out, so I'm actually going to emboss it straight onto the top of the card this time. So let me just give it one quick wipe with the embossing buddy and use our Versamark ink, which I'm not sure if I mentioned, but you will need Versamark as well, and just stamp that out. So line it up in the centre, roughly in the centre, and just a little bit of pressure on that. There we go. Then take your embossing powder and see how there's little bits there on there. Just take a paintbrush, if you like, and just gently brush those away. And then take your heat gun and just heat that up. People ask me how I know when that's actually ready to go, and you can tell because it goes shiny. Okay, so that bit is now done. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on our reindeer tree scene here. So what I've done is I've cut 4 lots of these tags. A white one, a craft card one, a green one, and one made out of the glimmer paper. And I've already pre-cut some of this out, and what you'll do is I've cut the circle part off it, and that will be the base for your scene. So we'll work on that. Okay, so you can see that I've cut the trees and the reindeer out, which is all I really wanted from these 2 pieces. So just a little bit of glue. Can get some to come out. I seem to always have this issue. A little bit of glue just there. Okay, I use tweezers to kind of pick it up so I can line it up a bit better, and then just line it up on there just like that. There we go. And then do the same for the reindeer. Now I've actually inked the edges of the reindeer just to give him a bit of colour, as you can see, just like that, and just line him up on there as well. There we go. Okay, so that's that. Now if you want to, you can actually take a black marker and just colour in his little feet too, to make it look like he's, you know, standing actually on something. Not that you'll see them, but you know, I like to be a little bit precise. Okay, now with the glimmer paper, there's a couple of bits that you want from here. So take your scissors and pretty much you're going to cut off everything from here, including the outside circle, because that bit is going to sit on the bottom of your tree. Now take the trees, and I like to shape cut them out like that. And then you can use them to sort of denote snow on the trees. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be, you know, the impression of snow actually on the trees. So let's glue this bit on. A little bit of glue on there. Line it up and just glue it on the bottom there. And that gives it that shiny sort of snow look. So we'll put the tree bits, again I pick that up with the tweezers usually, just hold it with the tweezers, and I put a bit of glue on the back, and then we just lay it on the trees like that. There we go. And that just looks like snow sitting on the trees. So that's your main scene. Now, to work out where it's going to go, lay your card in there. Now I'm going to mark inside this so that I know where I want it to be when it's done. So I'm just going to mark the corners like this. Okay, that gives me an idea of where I actually want it to be finishing up. And then I'll mark just inside here to give me an idea of where the circle is. And we'll glue this bit in here now, like that, while it's laying in there, so it'll be nice and straight. I'm sure there's other easier ways to do this, but that's the way I do it. Okay, so I'll just glue that in there, just like that. Okay, so you can take that off now, and because you've marked sort of where the edges of your circle are, you can go ahead and put the glue away for a start, but you can go ahead and use your little stamp with your Versamark ink and stamp all your snow so that you can then heat emboss it with white embossing powder. Oh, stamp won't stick. Just stamp it around. It doesn't matter if you go outside. It's just meant to be an indication of snow. So take your embossing powder and just throw that in there. Doesn't matter if it gets, you know, behind it. There we go. And again, if it goes places where you don't want it to be, like here, just use your brush. But really with this, I think it just adds to the snow effect. Take your heat gun . And that's done. Okay, so that will fit in there like that. Okay, put that aside for now. Just put away your embossing because you're pretty much done with that now. So put that aside. Take your window sheet and glue it on the inside of your card. So make sure that you know where the edges are, and I just put glue just all around the edge. I've been caught out a few times actually where I haven't cut it big enough, and the glue's actually been sort of everywhere except where it's meant to be. I just lay that on there like that. And if you do get a little bit in there like that, you can take a baby wipe and just gently wipe it away. Like that. Gone. Okay. Okay, so now that that's done, now comes the fun bit. So you can take a piece of your foam tape, just like that, and I just run it directly around the rim of the circle. Can you see how close I'm going to the circle there? And that's where you want it to be. Just like that. And it's just too short, so I will need another tiny little piece to kind of go in there. So if you do have to join it, just make sure you actually smoosh it in there really well, because there's nothing worse than giving somebody a card, a shaker card, and having all the glitter fall out as they take it out of the envelope. Okay, I'm actually going to remove that now because I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to get the glitter in there without getting it everywhere. Okay, so now take your glitter and just carefully tip some glitter in there. You don't want to have heaps, you just want, you know, enough to sort of make it look like it's snow. Now this is where your little lines come in that you actually drew on your card. If you want to line that up so it's straight, you will need to line it up with your corners directly like that. And make sure that it sits in there really well, exactly on your lines. Now if you want to, you can erase those. And there we have it. One shaker. Could have done with a little bit more glitter, but you know, it's entirely up to you. Okay, now to put our little people on the front. So the penguin, I've already pre-cut him out. All I'm going to do with him is actually colour in his little feet, and I think I will use black for his feet. Just carefully colour him in. Can you hear those children? They're not my children, they're actually my next door neighbour's children. They're having great fun outside. Nothing like the laughter of children. Unless it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Then it would be a bit annoying, but they're pretty good kids. Okay, take your glue, a little bit of glue on there, and again if you overdo it, just take some off. Okay, let's glue his scarf on like that, and then his hat. Now with his hat, all I think I need to do here is just run some glue along the top of his head like that, and take the hat with my tweezers because my fingers are sticky, and just stick it on there like that. I was thinking with the scarf too, a cute thing to do would be to actually take it and just snip it at the bottom here to make it look like a fringe. I thought that would be kind of cute. Okay. So can you see how that looks there? Sort of with a fringe happening? Yeah, okay. So let's work on Santa. Now Santa needs to be coloured in. So I was going to do his feet smoky slate, but I'm actually going to do his shoes black. So I might leave the smoky slate, but let's colour in his hat. And there's nothing fancy about this colouring, it's just pretty much straight colouring. So around his suit, being careful not to go onto the white bits or the bits that you want to stay white. Just like that. And around here. Now there's a little bit at the bottom of his suit there too that I sometimes forget. And then you want his pants as well. Oops. Never mind. Okay. Now with his belt, we just want to colour in his belt with the black, and I'll use the fine tip for this because it is quite a small section that I'm actually colouring in. And colour around the buckle, and I'll show you a trick in a minute because I think I've cut him a little bit small to get him in the punch easily. So I will show you a little trick here. So now I'm going to do his shoes, and I'm going to actually do those black because I think Santa has black shoes, not grey shoes. Although you could do them grey. I did the last ones grey. Okay. Okay. Now, he's cut a little bit small. So you actually would want to get a piece of Post-it note and just stick it to the side of Santa like that. And then that means you can actually put him in the punch and still hold on to him. Otherwise it would just be, you know, if you tried to get that in there, you would have to try and move it with your fingers and it would just be impossible. So I just take a piece of Post-it note, stick it to the edge like that, and run that through like this. So line him up. No, it's a bit crooked. Just like that. Where is he? There. Oh, I'll just straighten that up a bit. That's better. Now we can go in. Okay, let's try again. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's Santa. So now there is a little bobbly bit that goes on his hat, so I've already punched that out. Just put a little bit of glue on the back, take the little bobbly bit and just stick it on the back here like that, so it sticks out of the top of his hat. And then you can either pop them up on dimensionals if you want, or you can just pop them straight onto the card. And I'm going to put them straight onto the card because I think it has enough dimension already. So Santa can go about there, and Mr. Penguin can go on the other side. Just here. And that is your shaker card finished. Very quick and easy really once you get right down to it. Now there is one other thing I wanted to quickly show you. I got my order the other day and I got the tin of tags. I've been so excited about this. So I haven't taken anything out of its little packet yet, but I wanted to show you what you actually get in your little packet. So you get all of your tag bases in here. You get your tassels, your little stars, your washi tape, your twine, and all your wooden bits and your little doily bits. And it makes actually all of these tags. So I think it makes like 30 tags, and it makes 3, I think 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 10 tags, so it makes 3 of each of these. And I'm really excited actually to be making these. So that's my next little thing on the agenda. I won't do a video on it because it is quite self-explanatory if you buy a kit, unless anybody would like me to, in which case just you know, drop me a little note and I'm happy to do that. Also, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And if you don't have a demonstrator but are interested in ordering some products, I'd be happy to do that for you. And you can just follow the link that will be posted at the beginning of the video over the actual you know, first part of the video that'll have my website on there. As always, please share my videos and leave me some lovely comments, and hopefully you enjoyed watching me make that shaker card, including listening to the children next door. And thank you for watching.